Hello, we continue video. Today we're going to take a look at the top 10 teams for the Summer Cup Part 2. Those teams going to be teams that have been already very decent for the first week of the Summer Cup. We're going to have an entire week coming up again for the Summer Cup. Very sad that we don't have like the Ultra League edition of it, which I would have liked a little bit like of a difference for this week. But yeah, otherwise you're going to only have available the Master League, where I'm not going to make a video. If you want to see some top teams for Master League, just check out the last 2-3 videos about it. The meta does not really change. Anyway, today we're going to take a look at 10 teams that have been proven very good, and also, if you want to be a very good person, then feel free to leave a like and subscribe to this channel. It is free and helps me out quite a bit, and of course this video is always gonna take some time. So don't take some time here, let's just like move on to the team number 1. Here also we're going to have a different kind of background now because yeah, channel update and whatever, but we're going to have team number 1. Honestly, I have no idea why, but today I battled, like I did half of my battles so far. I battled half of the battles against this team, and like this team always kind of wrecked me. Like honestly, like this team was so difficult to play against, and I just don't really know why or how, but like this team was so strong against me. Critically, as you say, up here for this team for sure. Ferrothorn in the back, very decent. It is definitely a very smart team. You're going to have Skeldritch in the lead, being a fire type Pokemon to beat other grass types, of course, but also here having the ghost typing allows you to double resist counter. You have 2 Pokemon weak against counter in the back. You have a Save-Up of Credilli, being a grass type that also can still deal with fire type Pokemon as a Save-Up, so you can kind of try to bait out any Pokemon that Ferrothorn doesn't want to see. You have great coverage on the Skeldritch especially, which is going to be great. So even if you're going to lose a secondary matchup of Credilli against whatever the opponent swaps into, Skeldritch is going to take advantage with the Incinerate, gets a ton of energy, and like most likely punishes whatever is in the bag. Ferrothorn itself kind of beats the most common Pokemon in the current meta, which I feel like at least is going to be the Toxapex. Like Toxapex is so common, for me at least. So like this Pokemon is very good against this, and honestly, this team was so difficult to play against. I played against it the entire time. I don't know who came up with this. It might be like a creators team. I have no idea. Like I have not seen this before, but today it's everywhere. So definitely feel free to copy this team as well. Very good team to use. Team number 2, we're going to have here a team around Salazzle, which I already made a video on the channel as well, so if you want to see some gameplay towards it, feel free to check out the video towards Salazzle. This team was a lot of fun to play, and honestly I still think it's a very good team to run. For sure, it has a little bit of a weakness, which is against Poliwrath. Poliwrath can be a little bit of a trickier one here, as even though counters resistance Salazzle, Incinerate as well, and like you don't really have the bulk. Otherwise, Salazzle is very cool because in the 2-shield scenario, it basically beats anything in the cup. Like, it is madness how strong this Pokemon is in the 2-shield scenario. Here, all the time, you're going to see the 0/1-shield scenario on the screen. So, yeah, Salazzle definitely shines if you invest some shields into it. And the backline, Vigoroth as a Save-Up is just so common, so good in this cup. Of course, not really too crazy. Credilli in the back is a very good Pokemon as well. And we can move on to team number 3. Team number 3 is also already one that is on my channel. This is most likely one of the best teams for sure as well to run. Like, it's like one of the most consistent teams. Like, Toxapex, very good in the current meta. Vigoroth, very good as a Save-Up. Traveling in the back, going to beat all the Mud Boys. Like, it is quite a simple team. It is like no rocket science or anything like this. It is just a very straightforward team that works out super well. I played before on the channel, videos on the channel. Check the video out. Like, it is such a good team. Like, it is literally such an overpowered team to run. I still cannot really find a weakness of it. Yes, if you get completely hardwalled, you're going to lose a game. That's kind of not really rocket science either, because like this is going to happen as well. Like I had battles where I had a Mudboy in the lead, they had like a Toxapex in the back, and like some other counter to like Trevenant then, and like you have no chance of aligning yourself. This kind of stuff like happens to any kind of team. So other than if you get hardwalled, this team basically always won for me as well. So for sure, a very good team to run. Please feel free to follow this team as well and try it out. Like if you have the Pokemon, this is very good. We have a different kind of variation of this later on as well, so stay tuned for that as well. Anyway, next team we're going to have here, team number 4, the team that I encountered quite often as well. And honestly, this was like so common against me in like higher up elo range as well, which is going to be Lickitung, Charjabug, Toxapex, or also the Kingdra as a Shadow variant as a Save-Up. Basically, Lickitung is so neutral against anything that is not a Vigoroth, and Vigoroth is not a lot of times in lead, but usually as a Save-Swap. And you have 2 Pokemon in the back that are going to be able to resist counter, which is very good against the Vigoroth. And so, yeah, basically, you're going to have the Save-Swap here of either the Kingdra or the Charjabug, both are very neutral Save-Swaps there, and the lead is just so overpowered anyway with the yeah, LilyKatchum. I kind of like the Kingdra as well, because if you think about it, usually LilyKatchum is going to be able to win the lead unless it's like a Pidgeot or like a Vigoroth, basically. Like any kind of normal type Pokemon, you're going to kind of struggle against, but the rest you're going to be fine. But then, like, even if you're going to be able to win the lead, and you have the Kingdra and the Toxapex, that's basically a perfect core, because Kingdra doesn't really want to encounter like those fairy type Pokemon. Toxapex is going to be able to beat them. Kingdra very neutral against basically anything in the meta otherwise. So yeah, very good strategies that you can run with this team, and we can move on to team number 5. Team number 5 is going to be a team that I showcased on my channel as well, and I had a 13-2 run with this team. So, like, it has to be good. I'm sorry, like, this team is very solid. I saw some people complain about it again. Like, people always complain, to be fair, like, it is kind of madness. But Bubble Jellicent is very cool. Vigoroth is very cool. Magcargo is very cool. This team was, like, amazing. Like, this team was my best team so far in terms of, like, the record that I had with this in, like, the Go Battle League for the Summer Type Cup there. 13-2 is just kind of mad. Like, 13-2 is a very solid record, and it's like not something that's like, oh yeah, maybe he was lucky or whatever, like not 4-3 sets straight away and getting like I think 2-5-0s or something. It was kind of madness. Like, this team was very good. There's 1 or 2 issues, I guess. Like, you could change basically the fast move of Jellicent to Hex as well, which I maybe would even recommend you around Bubble, which is cool, like, which also has some benefits, but Hex I think is a little bit safer if you want to go for that. But otherwise, the one issue that I had was just the Pokemon named Lantern. Lantern is going to be tricky for this team to deal with. With Hex, you're going to have a little bit of a neutral lead. Otherwise, like, Water Gun Lantern was quite awkward for me to deal with, but otherwise I basically always won against anything else. So, like, this team was amazing. Bubble Jellicent was amazing. Magcargo is so overpowered. We still have another team around Magcargo later on as well. This Pokemon is definitely my favorite Pokemon so far for this cup. Team number 6, we're going to have here Charjabug in the lead, Sazop of the Kingdra, and the Poliwrath in the back. This is also a team that I showcased on this channel already. We have both Shadow variants in the back. You cannot use, I want to say, you can actually use both in the normal variant as well. But I feel like for the Kingdra, it's more important to have the Shadow variant than for the Poliwrath, because Kingdra is your Sazop, and Kingdra is so good in the 2-shield scenario, especially with that buffed Dragon Breath damage. Of course, being non-Shadow, you're going to be able to survive something like a Body Slam from a Vigoroth, which is kind of cool, but still, I kind of like the Shadow variant of this one a little bit more than, for example, like the Shadow variant of Poliwrath. Poliwrath definitely easily can survive without the Shadow bonus on it. So here, this team was also really good for me. Like, there's a video on the channel as well with Kingdra on the thumbnail. For sure, a must try if you have the Pokemon. Was so much fun. Like, definitely, there was also no big issue for this team. There was no big, like, weakness or anything like this. It is kind of reliable. Like it's a little bit awkward because, like, you have to kind of rely on the Octazooka debuff quite often. If you get it, you kind of win the game. If you don't get it, it's kind of more tricky. Like, you don't lose straight away. But honestly, like, I got so many Octazookas that got the debuffs onto the opponent, which was kind of mad. But yeah, Kingdra is also kind of rising up in popularity in this cup now, where people kind of figured out that this Pokemon is overpowered. Definitely a very good team to use here as well. And also check out the video towards it, because yeah, should give you some insight. Next one, we're also going to have a team on already, or like a video on already. We're going to have the Grass double Mudboy / double Electric. This is going to be a team that has one Pokemon that really beats it though, which is kind of awkward, which is the Tropius. Tropius is like the hardest answer to this team. The rest is totally fine. Even Trevenant is totally fine. If you watch the video, Trevenant was never really an issue for this team, even though it looks like it's an issue. Tropius is. Like, Tropius is an issue. If you're going to encounter Tropius a lot of times, then this might not be the team for you. But for me, like, I went way positive with this team as well. I think I did like a 75% win rate with this team. And the thing is, that's kind of what I call calculated risk all the time. There might be teams which just lose straight away to like one Pokemon, but if this Pokemon is like not too common, like Tropius is a regional variant, like it's not like there's like, I don't know, like a Vigoroth or something that completely beats the team, then it is better to run a team that maybe loses to like one Pokemon straight away, but it beats basically anything else. And like this kind of the same for this team. Yes, like you're going to lose against Tropius, that's totally for sure, but against anything else, you're going to kind of like have an easy matchup for me. Like, at least for me, like when I played this team was amazing. For sure, something I would recommend you. I might not recommend you the Victory Bell though. Like, Victory Bell was cool, was very solid, but I feel like Venusaur might be a little bit stronger currently, or also the Superior, but like they're all kind of fine. Like, Victory Bell was also totally fine. So yeah, for sure, like Tropius is going to be a tough one for this team to beat, but anything else you're kind of going to have an easy time against. Moving on to team number 8 here, we're going to have a team that's kind of similar to one that we had already in the beginning, but it's kind of reversed. Now we're going to have the Trevenant in the lead, we're going to have the Kingdra in the safe position, and the Toxapex in the back. Kind of here, Kingdra is going to be able to basically bait out Pokemon that are very decent against water types, while still being able to beat those usually as well. And then you can kind of deal with whatever is in the back with the Toxapex. What I like about this team though, unless you're going to encounter a flying type Pokemon in the lead here with the Trevenant, you have basically just Pokemon that are very neutral against everything. So basically what this means is you have play against everything. Like, you literally have play against any kind of Pokemon here with this team, even against Mantine. Like, Trevenant is still not even the worst Pokemon there either. It's basically just Pidgeot that's really an issue for this Pokemon. But I feel like this team is definitely a very, very solid one. I would really recommend you to try this one out. It's kind of similar, of course, to one of them earlier on, but it's still a little bit different, to be fair. Like, it's definitely plays a little bit different. But let's move on to team number 9. Here we're going to have a team that I already made a video about as well, and even a deep dive video, so definitely check that video out as well. Well, I cannot even talk anymore. We're going to have here the Pelipper, the Charjabug, and the Diggersby. This team is also something that I did not came up with, but I also don't know who came up with this, because I encountered it so many times, and for good reason. This team was very, very good. Diggersby in the back is very, very good in the current meta as well, especially with Fire Punch being able to completely punish those Charjabugs. Charjabug is so common, and Diggersby is can take so much advantage of this one. Also, we have 2 answers for counter Pokemon with the Charjabug as well as the Pelipper, and so basically, yeah, Pelipper is more of like a neutral lead. It's not really like an ABC team. It's still kind of an ABC team, but like a lot of times, like, Pelipper can just stay in, like, try to win the first matchup, and then even if you're going to, yeah, have a Pelipper very low, it doesn't really matter too much. You still have a fire type answer with the Diggersby, and you still have a counter answer with the Charjabug. And so this team is very neutral, very good team to use. You can also use the Manta in the lead, by the way, as well, which I did not include here, but you can for sure do that. And yeah, anyway, we can move on to team number 10 now. Final team for the day. You must say saw a video towards us already on this channel. Not too sure if it's actually live already, but it should be live. We're going to have a team here with Macargo. We're going to have a team here with the Razor Leaf Tropius, and we have the Wigglytuff. Yes, you can actually build a toxic line for this meta. Check out the video for a little bit more of an in-depth view of this. Issue for this team is Toxapex. Toxapex can be a little bit of a trickier one to deal with, but yeah, basically I still went way positive with this team. Like, I went crazy positive with this team. Basically, Toxapex were basically Toxapex plus misplays from myself were like the only loss that I had with this team. You can change the lead a little bit to like something like Stunfisk if you want to have something more for the Toxapex, but be careful. Then also don't run Razor Leaf on Tropius, please run Air Slash on Tropius. That would be way better for this, because otherwise you're going to struggle too much against other grass type Pokemon. Just to be sure about this, but anyway, like, if you are scared a little bit about Toxapex and you don't want to be as toxic as I was when I played this team, then go ahead and change those Pokemon around. But yeah, this is going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, hopefully you have great success for the new meta, and of course, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.